my name is Abby Stockwell. I work for Department of Ecology as the Phase 2 Municipal Stormwater Permit Writer for Eastern Washington. Today I will be talking about what the permit says regarding operation and maintenance of stormwater best management practices on private property. This is permit section S5B5 on post-construction stormwater management for new and redevelopment. This section of the permit requires Eastern Washington permittees to implement and enforce a program that addresses stormwater runoff from sites that have been developed and that discharge to the municipal stormwater system, otherwise known as the MS4. This is done through adoption of an ordinance or another regulatory mechanism. This provision to require stormwater management kicks in when a project disturbs an acre or more of land, or less than an acre if the project is part of a larger plan of development. This means that property owners and developers will need to follow the minimum technical requirements found in Appendix 1 of the permit. Following Appendix 1 can mean providing runoff treatment and flow control best management practices for the development and ensuring the long-term operation and maintenance of those BMPs. We ensure the long-term operation and maintenance of those BMPs in two ways. The first is through an operation and maintenance plan. The operation and maintenance plan requires the identification of the responsible party, the long-term funding source, and the actions needed to maintain a functioning BMP. The second way that we ensure long-term operation and maintenance of those stormwater best management practices is through an inspection program. So that ordinance that needs to be adopted must include the legal authority to access the property during both the construction and post-construction phases to inspect the stormwater best management practices that discharge to the MS4. Access to inspect the stormwater best management practices can be done by municipal staff, or if deemed necessary during the post-construction phase, the ordinance can be written to allow a qualified third party to certify that the best management practices were maintained properly and are functioning as intended. So all of this is with the goal of protecting water quality. Structural BMPs are required to be inspected once during installation and then once every 5 years after final installation, or more frequently if it's needed to protect water quality. Other key components of this permit section involve providing training to your municipal staff that are involved in implementing any section of this permit, and also providing information to design professionals that are involved in developing these types of projects. It's really important to show your work, so maintain the records of maintenance activities, inspections, and your training. The Eastern Washington permit for low-impact development requires permittees to allow for LID rather than require it in every case. Low-impact development techniques include non-structural BMPs such as pollutant source control, or reducing impervious surfaces through the design, or structural best management practices such as bioretention or permeable pavement. And remember, only the structural best management practices need to be inspected. So in addition to the permit, there are other great resources that are available on our website, including the Eastern Washington Low-Impact Development Guidance Manual, the Eastern Washington Stormwater Manual, and the contact information for your local regional permit manager, or me if you have additional questions.
Hi, my name is Chris Montague Breakwell. I'm a Municipal Stormwater Permit Manager with Department of Ecology. I work with municipal stormwater permittees from Clark County to Pierce County on compliance with their municipal stormwater Phase 1 and Phase 2 permits. Today I'd like to talk to you about permit requirements for inspection and maintenance of private stormwater BMPs or facilities. These are facilities that are built for new development or redevelopment under minimum requirement number 6, which requires treatment, or minimum requirement number 7, which requires flow control. There are 3 or 4 key elements depending on whether or not you're a Phase 1 or Phase 2. I'll walk through them sequentially. First, create a program that has the legal authority to go onto private property and inspect these private stormwater facilities. So your codes or ordinances for your municipality must give you the legal authority to go on and inspect and if need be, enforce these maintenance standards. Second, train your municipal staff so that they understand what they're looking for when they're doing these inspections. So they'll need to inspect pursuant to the 2012 Stormwater Management Manual for Western Washington. There are myriad different BMPs and stormwater facilities in that. Your staff will have to understand those in order to properly carry out this inspection program. Third, your municipal program must be designed to inspect all private stormwater BMPs and facilities annually, with compliance with the permit being judged on achieving at least 80% of those inspections. Fourth and finally, for Phase 2s only, Phase 2s must adopt the 2012 Stormwater Management Manual maintenance standards by the end of 2016. Phase 1s already must do this at this time. In conclusion, remember, document and record all of these key elements will demonstrate to Ecology that you are in compliance with the permit.
My name is Lynn Schmidt, and I'm the Stormwater Permit Coordinator for the City of Spokane's Wastewater Management Department. Part of my job responsibilities are to help the city stay in compliance with the Eastern Washington Phase 2 Stormwater Permit. In Eastern Washington, per the Eastern Washington Phase 2 Municipal Stormwater Permit, low-impact development is allowed but not required. Here in the Spokane region, though, we've been doing a form of low-impact development for several decades, and that's through the use of grassy swales or bioinfiltration swales. We've adopted the Eastern Washington LID Guidance Manual, and we also encourage low-impact development through our ordinances by allowing people to have discounts on their commercial stormwater fees. An example of a successful public-private partnership is the Kendall Yards Olmsted Green, where we're standing here today. The City of Spokane has an interest in reducing its MS4 stormwater discharges to the Spokane River. At the same time, when this development came in, they were required to retain stormwater on site like most developments are. To combine our mutual interest in stormwater management, the City of Spokane installed a stormwater tank over on the east side of the property, and that's because infiltration is poor over there on that side of the facility. That tank collects stormwater from both city arterial runoff as well as runoff from this private development, and it's piped over to these bioretention areas on the west side of the property at Olmsted Brothers Green. The stormwater then flows up out of these grates and is filtered through the plants and the soils in the bioretention area, and any excess water flows through the park and downstream. To ensure that this facility is maintained in the long term, the city and Kendall Yards put together an agreement for maintenance. The city maintains the tank and the pipes to get to this facility, and Kendall Yards maintains the surface structure, the green areas. And that works really well with our expertise. The sewer maintenance department is great at maintaining pipes and tanks, and a landscape facility is better maintained by a private company. One challenge that we've had here with the underground BMP facilities is once it's installed, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind, and people don't necessarily know that they need to maintain it. We have one example here in town at a large supermarket facility where an underground cartridge filter was installed. We had troubles accessing the site per our codes. So it took, after 15 years finally, it took help from the manufacturer to convince the supermarket that they needed to change the filter. So going forward in the future, we likely will be very hesitant to approve such systems. The above ground systems, where it's very obvious when maintenance is needed, seem to work better for us. To summarize our approach on operations and maintenance on private property, the City of Spokane requires developers to submit an O&M plan during the plan review process. This also needs to include a funding mechanism to pay for maintenance over time to ensure that the facility is maintained. And guidance for that can be found in the Spokane Regional Stormwater Manual. The city sends out stormwater permit inspectors to the site. They go out during construction when the facility is being built, and they also go out to inspect the site right at the end of construction to ensure it was designed and constructed properly before the certificate of occupancy can be issued.
Hi, I'm Bill Riley. I'm the Storm and Surface Water Manager for the City of Bellingham. My job is to deal with all things stormwater, and that includes LID. So the City of Bellingham has come into the LID realm differently than other jurisdictions. We made a choice years ago, back in early 90s, that we were going to own and operate all of our conventional stormwater facilities that were serving residential areas, subdivisions, short plats, the like. The new LID stormwater is different. We are now working on systems and ways to have low-impact development on many residential properties and assure that it works. One of the most important areas for the City of Bellingham is our Lake Whatcom watershed. It's a lake that provides drinking water for the City of Bellingham and outside areas. We want to make sure that it's well protected, and conventional stormwater facilities can only be a part of the solution. The way that we're caring for Lake Whatcom is through creating a program that engages single-family residential properties in doing LID facilities and practices on their own property. We've found from our homeowner improvement program that people are not only understanding what the issues are for the water quality of the lake, but they're getting very excited about being a part of the solution. The way that we help people in our homeowner program is we take them from first concept through a project that is complete and provide them information on how their project is successful in the near term and in the long term. So maintenance is certainly a part of that. We have a very good employee that takes the call from the property owner, sets up an interview to look at what their ideas of what they want to see on their property. Different types of BMPs could be used, and ultimately come up with a plan for that specific property so that we have the right soils, the right plants in the right place. To date, we've been successful in having 250 BMPs installed in the watershed to aid its health. Our next step is to make this mainstream for city and Whatcom County to bring this homeowner program to 6,000 residents around the lake. This is going to be a long-term project, but it is necessary for us to meet the goals that we're wishing to meet. One of the ways we've found that's going to get us from a pilot program to a more robust program that incorporates a larger part of the population is to look at what motivates people. Why would they want to do an LID project on their site? We have an incentive program. Sometimes that incentive may be buying the mulch for them or providing the permit for the work on their property. Other people, it may be just wanting to be acknowledged that they are doing something that's good. It's really important for us to understand who it is that we're talking to, understand what motivates them in particular, and provide a program that's resilient enough to provide those different motivations for the different people that are involved.
My name's Annette Griffey. I'm the City of Vancouver Surface Water Engineering Manager, and I oversee the programs which review and approve small residential LID as well as the larger bioretention. And today we're going to talk about the smaller LID projects such as rain gardens on single-family residential lots as well as pervious driveways. The City of Vancouver has had a stormwater ordinance in place since 1996. So we have a large number of years and a large number of surface water utility facilities that we've maintained. We're transitioning into the smaller facilities and maintaining those smaller facilities. So we're really seeing a challenge in how we're going to do that with the individual property owners, individual residents as we make this transition. So we have hundreds, maybe thousands of facilities that we've maintained over the last couple of decades. And so it's going to be a real challenge to do the outreach. It's really just a change in paradigm for us in how we do our O&M and look at LID integrated into the residential lots. The City of Vancouver, through its development review process, collects easements for all of the facilities for access and inspection. So we're transitioning all of our easement paperwork and our plats through our review process so that we have the ability to go onto the single-family small-scale facilities so that we can inspect those facilities to ensure that they're still able to function and function over the long term. So for private driveways on, say, a residential lot, we want to ensure that it maintains its porosity. One of the things that is very common practice is people have bark mulch placed on their driveways so that they can disperse that throughout their landscaping. With a pervious pavement driveway, that's not going to be able to be a practice that they can do anymore. So we want to make sure that they'll function for the long term, and that's part of education, but it's also our access onto the site to ensure that that hasn't occurred so that we can go on and talk to the property owners, with the property owners or the homeowners, and make sure that they have the ability to clean that up. So one of the challenges we face is that within any single-family residential, you might have different people occupying the home or different people that are responsible for maintaining it. So we have a lot of different people to contact and a lot of different people to talk with in regards to how to maintain these new smaller scale facilities. So you may have owners that are not residing in the home. You may have renters, you might have maintenance workers, landscapers, or other people that visit the home. So they can adversely impact with just some simple actions any of these small scale facilities. So we want to be very mindful of how we set up our program to communicate to these people and really get the word out there. Into the future, the city has obtained a grant from the Department of Ecology for a private facility inspector, and this inspector will work to address issues that they see in the field, inspect all the smaller private facilities, and work to set up a program. And part of the program will be working with the individual property owners, setting up information, educational information such as, say, brochures or educational postcards. What we see is as the residents change, we're going to have new needs to educate folks. So in areas where we might have people that are renting homes, so we're going to develop postcards in the future so that we can mail those out and educate the homeowners within an area where they have a lot of the small residential facilities on site, like pervious driveways, rain gardens, and bioretention facilities. Into the future, as we visit these smaller scale LID facilities, we'll go through a checklist to ensure that all of the items are met and maintained. We like to provide as much education to the people that are living in the residents with the small-scale facilities prior to doing enforcement, but that is within our Vancouver Municipal Code.
Hi, I'm Teresa Brooks and I work for the Kitsap Conservation District. I'm the Green Stormwater Solutions Rain Garden Program Manager. I manage the retrofit program and I help landowners to manage their stormwater properly, and we use low impact development approaches. We provide technical assistance, come out on site and make decisions about rain gardens, permeable grid, cisterns, landscape modifications to help them manage their stormwater. Our program uses an approach where the landowner volunteers to work with us and abide by the contract that they sign with us. And this is a non-regulatory approach, and that's why we have success with landowners and they're willing to work with us. We have two different agreements that the landowner will sign with us. The first one is a cooperation agreement where they're agreeing to cooperate with the Kitsap Conservation District, and we have an engineer stamped standard design plan that they agree to follow, and that agreement is basically telling them that they need to follow through with all the specifications in the plan. And then the other agreement they sign is agreeing to install the practice and maintain it for the design life. At the end of the project, we sign off finals. We do an as-built, and everything has to be to spec for them to get their full reimbursement. The reason for our success with landowners has to do with our partnerships, and our main partner is Clean Water Kitsap, and they fund our program and help us with the reimbursement aspect of the program. One of the key challenges that we face is education and getting the public to buy into retrofitting a rain garden or a cistern or permeable grid in their properties and helping them to understand why they would even need to do so. And in order to meet that educational piece, we partner with Clean Water Kitsap and Washington State University Extension. Some of the tools that we've come up with to help with this educational process are the care guide, and it's from A to B, just everything that you need to know about maintaining a rain garden. We also have a Green Stormwater Solutions booklet that talks about a lot of different approaches, and it has a small little paragraph about maintenance and for each of those. And we can use that with the landowner at that first visit, just explaining to them what the practice is and how to maintain it. Kitsap Conservation District, we always have them sign an agreement to meet with us 1 year after the practice has been in, and we come out with another form. It has several items to look at, and we sign off each of those. We also will write down and explain how to fix things if they need to be fixed, and praise them for things that they've done right. The following years, we make a phone call and we ask the landowner to verbally tell us how it's going, if they notice anything that needs to be changed, and they also are asked if they will send us a picture. So we have a great database building up of rain gardens with pictures from day one all the way through to how many years the practice has been in the ground. One of the most important needs that I see to start a program like this is it takes a lot of expertise and technical assistance. Someone on staff who's got certification in low impact development and has the expertise to help the landowner calculate how much water and the size of the rain garden to make sure it gets put in there according to specs. In addition, go out there and tell people about them and how to take care of them.
Hi, my name is Travis Nelson. I work for Pierce County, Surface Water Management, Water Quality Supervisor. I head up the group that does all those stormwater facility inspections throughout Pierce County. Surface Water Management employs a team of water quality inspectors who work throughout the county to inspect private stormwater facilities and assist private landowners with the maintenance and operations of their stormwater facilities. So one of the success stories we have to tell here at Pierce County about stormwater management is that our partnership with the public and raising the rate of compliance on our private facilities for stormwater management from lows of 1s and 2s on our 5-scale rating system to 3s, 4s, and 5s. When we started our program back in 2009, we had a significant non-compliance rate of 21.9%. Today, it stands at a point below 5%. We inspect on an annual average about 1,500 to 2,000 private facilities throughout the county. So some of the tools Pierce County has utilized in our stormwater inspection program are the use of brochures to actually explain how folks can manage and maintain their own facilities without us actually coming out and reminding them on a regular basis. Giving them a brochure that actually shows them pictures of their facilities, the good, the bad, and the ugly of what state you want to actually do maintenance or what state you might actually want to call in for help. Another thing we do is we do a lock checkout program for the gates that get locked around ponds. If we want to be able to access those without having to coordinate or interrupt somebody's regular scheduling, because we typically will come between the hours of 8 and 4 o'clock every day during the Monday through Friday work week. Most folks are at work. So what we like to do is be able to give them a lock and give them a key, and we keep a key ourselves so we can come as we need to and inspect those facilities that are behind those locked gates. Another thing that we actually will do is we actually hand out inspection rods to folks. The inspection rods are nothing more than an extension piece for a chimney sweep, and these are utilized to check the depth of any sediment that may be accumulating in the catch basin that exists in any homeowners association or neighborhood in a private facility, and that we actually will check those out to folks free of charge, and that we will train them how to use them. We give flash drives to folks at our meetings and tell them through the flash drives the information that we have by way of technical assistance one-pagers, site plans, standardized BMPs that you can utilize in your neighborhood to actually become a partner in stormwater with us. Along this line, in this list of the top 5 things that we do, we also will have annual meetings and workshops with folks to explain how to be a partner in stormwater. And we do a raffle and seek out donations from hardware stores, things that people can actually use to do a better job maintaining their stormwater system. We'll actually do a parking lot training. We'll go out in the parking lot and show folks how to inspect catch basins, things to look for in rain gardens, things to look for in detention facilities, etc. We actually hand out grab bags and really just seek to have a beyond the meeting reminder throughout the year for folks to be able to connect back with us and remind them that they can be a community stormwater partner, and that we found some great successes with that. Pierce County Surface Water Management Private Facility Stormwater Management Program has evolved over a number of years. We've utilized a number of innovative approaches that include technical assistance, partnering with our private landowners, and educating people about the ins and outs and the maintenance and operation requirements of their facilities. We anticipate the continued need for partnerships into the future for our program to be successful in managing stormwater in Pierce County. Some of the materials that we've talked about today are available on our website for the public to utilize and to learn more about how they can be a partner in stormwater management in their community.